You cannot be confused when it comes to yourself. You cannot be double-minded or conflicted when it comes to you elevating and becoming the best version of yourself. You're either going to be 100% committed and 100% in, or you're going to be 100% out. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and yes, that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, it is not for you. Do not force it. Let it fly. But most importantly, grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to go over and discuss how to become consistent, how to be committed, as well as unpack why you lack consistency. Why is it so hard for you to be 100% sure yourself or confident, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, some disclaimers, and just certain things you should be aware of. Before we get into the disclaimers, let's go back to the topic in the title of today's video. If you are double-minded, you cannot be sure of yourself. You cannot be confused about what you're meant to be doing in this life when you have somewhere to be or you want to be somebody. When you decide to heal, when you decide to elevate, when you decide that you want to be successful, you have to be 100% sure. Now, of course, just because you are 100% sure of yourself doesn't mean that you always have to be and that you're going to be 100% sure of how certain things are going to happen or when. It's not about how or when, it's why. So that's the first disclaimer. Write this down. You need to know why you're being committed in order for you to be consistent. If you don't have a reason, if you don't find purpose, why would you be consistent? Why would you show up for yourself? Why would you invest in yourself? And let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know in your notes, Why would I have faith in myself? Why would I believe in myself if I didn't want to be a certain people or a place or a thing? If I didn't want to experience certain things in my life? What sense does that make? The second disclaimer you need to be aware of is that, being committed, being consistent is a choice. And before you say it's hard, it's difficult, it's not. It may just be unfamiliar to you because you've already been consistent. You've already been committed. You've been committed to go to school. You were consistent go to work. You were consistent when you wanted to eat certain foods. You were committed to being in that relationship, whether it was toxic or positive. We make time, energy, and effort for other people, places, and things so we can make time, energy, and effort for ourselves. The issue might be you may not have been taught and shown how to become successful because maybe you didn't have certain people and places and things around you to pour into you, to educate you. Maybe you didn't have certain resources like education and finances. Maybe, like I said, you just grew up being limited or around people who were small-minded or just negativity. Okay, cool. All of us have a past. All of us don't come from silver spoons. Just because we grew up and have been conditioned to think a certain type of way doesn't mean that we have to continue to resonate with that energy or these ideologies or these beliefs or those people, places, and things. So you have to want to be consistent in order for you to be sure yourself. It doesn't matter. And eventually in the video, we're going to have recommendations which help you let go of these fears and these doubts and these projections. But it's like at the end of the day, you have to want to do things for yourself. It doesn't matter what your mom or your dad or anybody says. And if they love you, if they care about you and respect you, they would say the same things to you. So the fourth thing is that when you do decide to be sure of yourself and you learn how to, despite your background or your circumstances, you have to make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who are on the same wavelength. Personally, from experience, I've had to outgrow a lot of people, and I outgrew a lot of people because they didn't want to be sure of themselves. They were confused. They were conflicted. Regardless if they had a silver spoon, a two-parent household, everything handed to them, or they had to learn from themselves. If you're confident, you're full of yourself, you know what you want, you have to surround yourself with people who feel the same way. Because what happens is when you surround yourself with people who have insecurities, who doubt themselves, who have low self-esteem, who are double-minded, consciously and subconsciously, they're going to project. Sometimes, like I said, they're doing it because that's all they know, that's all they've been taught and shown. And a lot of times, other people do it because they're miserable. So if they're miserable, they don't want you to be happy. They're going to just speak from their experiences and their limitations. You cannot continue to surround yourself with people who are not sure of themselves, because you're going to feel confused. And not just that, people who are not sure of themselves, or people who don't want to be, because there are willfully ignorant people in this world, will try to manipulate you. They'll try to gaslight you. They'll try to make you feel bad about you being sure of yourself. They'll try to play mind games. I'm letting you guys know from experience. I've dealt with a lot of low vibrational people, right? Who are uneducated and ignorant, who tried to get me to respond to them or receive my attention. And the only reason why I'm verbally addressing it and acknowledging it is because it is real. You do have people who are older, younger, who have more, who have less, who will try to sabotage you psychologically, emotionally. Like, people will play games and stuff. I don't have time for that. And that's why it never worked on me. That's why I speak my truth and I say what I say, and I stand on what I do and what I am. I've always thought for myself. I'm going to always think for myself. Nobody can influence me to do something that I don't want to do, especially when it comes to yourself. And you have to realize that this is your life. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. They're not you. So unless people went through the things that you went through, or they're able to accept you for who you are, it doesn't matter. When you decide to commit to yourself, it's for you. It's not for your family. It's not for your friends. It's not for your kids. It's not for anybody. It's for yourself. Like, there is nothing wrong with thinking highly of yourself. There's nothing wrong with believing in yourself. And once again, it doesn't matter if you weren't taught and shown. The biggest lesson that I could tell you, and the best thing that you can do, is to believe in yourself for yourself. Even if you didn't grow up with people believing in you. I've only had one genuine person believe in me, you guys, to a certain extent. I didn't have a lot of people who genuinely, like I said, wanted to believe in me. Unfortunately, I did grow up around a lot of people who did not think highly of themselves. Sometimes all you need is one person, but if you don't have that one person, other than that one person, outside of myself, I've always believed in myself. And this is why I'm telling you guys from experience. Like, you choosing to support yourself is about you. So now, when it comes to recommendations, how do you start being committed? How do you start giving it your all? How do you start to show up for yourself? Number one, we need to identify why you think it's so hard for you to show up for yourself. And this requires you to self-reflect. This requires you to think. This requires you to sit with yourself. You can let me know in the comment section, or you can let me know in your notes. But I need you to figure out where in your mind, or what happened to you to where you couldn't think for yourself. Or that you thinking for yourself was a bad thing. Was it something that you saw? Was it something that you were exposed to? Did somebody say something to you? Did somebody do something to you? Like, why do you feel like it's hard for you to commit? The second recommendation is that when you decide to commit to yourself, it may be unfamiliar. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be scared. In the beginning, you may have fear. You may have doubt, but that's in the beginning. You have to make a decision. Do I want to continue to walk by faith and not by sight? Or am I going to be afraid and stay where I am? You facing your fears is just you letting go of all of the beliefs that were programmed onto you from people, places, and things. And a lot of times when you're a child, or even as a teenager or an adult, you may not have known any better. And that's going to be the third recommendation. Like, you really can't beat yourself up for not believing in yourself if you weren't taught and shown as a child, or if people try to take it away from you. Like, the people I grew up around and the people that I have experienced in my life, they weren't taught and shown how to believe in themselves. They weren't taught and shown how to love themselves. So a lot of times, some of them did do it on purpose. But because I'm not them and I know how to think for myself and I don't want to be like them, it never fazed me. It never affected me. That's something that you can't take away from some people. Like, you could take away people's cars. You could take away people's husbands, wives. You could take away materials. You can't take away somebody's energy and spirit when they know who they are. You committing to yourself is a choice, and it requires, like I said, a lot of energy, a lot of patience. Like, you have to know that just because you're doing something that is not common doesn't mean it's impossible. Just because you may be the only one in your family breaking these generational cycles doesn't make you a bad person, or make you weird, or make you strange. Somebody has to do it. And that somebody, 99% of the time when you're watching this video, is you. Excuse me, you guys. I probably need to drink some water. But yeah, when it comes to being committed, you need to know it's a choice. And I keep reiterating that over and over and over again, because the stuff that I'm saying over and over again in this video is for a reason. Psychologically, subconsciously, if you know, you know. When you hear things repetitively, you're training your memory. That's what we're here to do. And because you have to realize that in order for you to commit, you have to know what you're doing. Like I said, you don't have to have everything figured out. Like, you don't have to know how certain things are going to show up or when, but you do have to be intentional. You do have to know that, okay, if I decide to commit to myself, if I decide to invest into myself, if I decide to be confused about life, then I have to be intentional about what I watch. I have to be intentional about who I'm surrounding myself with. You have to be intentional about who you listen to. You may have to stop watching certain people on social media, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. You may have to limit yourself from people, places, and things. You may have to create distance. Like, you may have to go no contact. Like, you're going to have to do what you have to do in order for you to get the results that you want. But it's like, committing to ourselves is not hard once we self-reflect and we realize, why is it so hard for me to like commitment? When did I feel this way about myself? And most importantly, what can you do? So when you're figuring that out, I want you to figure out what you can do to start being committed. What can you do, to not be confused about life? What can you do? And let me know in the comment section, what can you do to be secure in yourself? And I want you to let me know. That's your homework assignment. Usually I have a 5th recommendation and I give you guys specific things. I want you to come up with it. I want you to let me know, because I know. They know. Shout out to Drake. What could you do to start feeling confident within yourself? And let me know. Let me know in your notes and start focusing on that. Anything that takes away your time, energy, and effort, and it's not positive, it's not genuine, it's not productive, leave it alone. Let people be negative by themselves, okay? So with that being said, I am going to end off this video. Thank you guys for watching. Like always, turning on your post notifications and subscribing if you're not already, as well as liking the video all the way to the end. Thank you guys for liking and engaging. And like I've stated over and over again, let me know what you think. Let me know what resonates with you. Let me know what you need to work on. Let me know certain things that maybe you're just like, poor K, like how, okay? As well as follow me on all my social media platforms. All the information is down in the description box below. Make sure that when you guys follow me on social media, head to TikTok and head to Instagram. You guys, these lights are bright and I had to think about it. Head to TikTok, head to Instagram. I'm not gonna edit this, so we can go live and we can chit chat, because for the month of November, when I'm recording this right now, we'll be talking about this so we can come up with solutions. You can get to know me, I can get to know you, and yeah, as well as booking your service and your session if you need like more one-on-one time, more vulnerability, and just maybe you just have questions that I did not address in today's video. But know that being consistent and being committed is a choice, in that you're either going to be 100% in and you're going to appreciate the journey. You're going to learn to walk by faith and not by sight, even though you may be unsure in the beginning. But if you want certain things, then you'll do what you need to do. And you'll learn, speaking from experience, what to do as you make progress. You just need to take one step. If you take one step every day, that's 365 steps. You don't have to have 10 steps in a day if you can only take one. You know, start from somewhere, but don't limit yourself. But no, it's about the choices that you make, okay? Love you, bye.